In its first year as a member of the Southland Conference, Oral Roberts able to claim part of the regular season title along with these Bearcats of Sam Houston State. They're led by 3 seniors and a coach synonymous with the program. Bearcats 1 win away from dancing for the first time. But the Golden Eagles claimed the top seed, and for an encore, here in their first year as members of the Southland Conference, look to claim the Southland Conference's automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Championship on the line next.
Celebrating the league's 50th anniversary in 2013, this is Southland Conference basketball exclusively on ESPN3. You're looking at the Leonard E. Merrill Center in Katy, Texas, just about 30 miles west of downtown Houston, the home to the Southland Conference Basketball Championship Saturday. Sam Houston State and Oral Roberts in the Women's Championship, the Bearcats and the Golden Eagles ready to find out who will advance and claim the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Hi everybody, Randy McAvoy. Great to have you with us today on Championship Saturday. Again, the 50th year anniversary of Southland Conference basketball. We are in for a great matchup in the Women's Championship game today. The second-seeded Bearcats from Sam Houston State facing the top-seeded Golden Eagles from Oral Roberts University in their first season in the Southland Conference. Let's take a look at the schedule today. This will start off Championship Saturday here on ESPN3, Sam Houston State and Oral Roberts. And then the nightcap in the men's championship at 7:30 Central Time right here from the Merrill Center. It will be top-seeded Stephen F. Austin taking on the Demons from Northwestern State live on ESPN2. Taking a look now at the women's tournament bracket. This is how they reached the championship. Of course, gaining the double bye into the semifinals certainly helped the cause when you're the #1 and #2 seed. So Oral Roberts and Sam Houston both took advantage of that on Saturday, won their semifinal contest, and they will meet for the championship here this afternoon. Taking a look at some of the highlights now on how they made and reached the finals. 2 seed Sam Houston beat Lamar on Friday, 67-61. Sam Houston led by sophomore center Angela Beadle's 19 points. They also held Lamar to only 32% from the field. So Coach Brenda Welch-Nichols, the coach of the year in the conference, her Bearcats now 18-13. They are 1 win away from claiming the tournament championship. Again, they will face off against the Golden Eagles from Oral Roberts, the #1 seed. They notched their 17th victory and a date in the finals by knocking off 2-time defending conference tournament champion McNeese State. Coach Misty Cousins' Golden Eagles used a 12-0 run midway through the second half to pull out a 79-66 win over the Cowgirls. J.C. Bigham led ORU with 17. So that sets up today's matchup. Sam Houston State, Oral Roberts, championship on the line here in the Southland Conference tournament. Previously this season, they have met twice, once in Huntsville, once in Tulsa. The first match went to Sam Houston State 54-47, and then a big bounce back in the middle of February in Tulsa with Oral Roberts blowing out Sam Houston State at home by 50 points. We'll find out in the third meeting this afternoon. The big one will send one of these teams to the NCAA tournament. All right, that sets up today's matchup. Right now, let's toss it down to the court, and the gentleman who will be calling today's action, Lincoln Rose, and Naismith Hall of Famer Van Chancellor. Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Randy. Coach, there is no sharing that automatic bid like these 2 teams shared that regular season title. Let's take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by State Farm. First up for the second-seeded Bearcats of Sam Houston State. And well, you look at the starting 5, but the semifinals was all about a player coming off the bench in Angela Beadle.
Beadle just was so tough in the game yesterday. She scored inside. She had 19 and 9. What an offensive threat Beadle was, and plus rebounding the ball.
Beadle able to step up in place of some of the players picking up fouls early on. Conversely, the starting 5 brought to you by State Farm for Oral Roberts, your #1 seed. They too with their seniors, including Heavy Looper, but Looper fouled out midway in the second half. That's when J.C. Bigham took over.
Bigham was the difference in the basketball game. She was all over the court defensively. She had 7 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals. You see her steal the basketball against McNeese State, convert, make the free throw. I thought her hustle, her overall attitude, outside shooting was the difference in the basketball game for Oral Roberts yesterday.
Randy, the winner of this game will represent the Southland Conference for the first time in its history in the NCAA tournament.
All right, Lincoln, Rose, and Van Chancellor look forward to the call. We are ready for basketball here at the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas. Championship Saturday underway. You're going to see it live here on ESPN3. Opening tip coming right up.
The 2012 Tundra, with an available 381 horsepower, 5.7-liter V8 engine that can tow over 10,000 pounds, and oversized disc brakes. It's the truck that's as dependable as the people who drive them.
Nice truck. Nice boat.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $3,000 cash on Tundra Crew Max Special Edition, with a total savings over $7,600. See your local Toyota dealer.
At Sam Houston State University, you can turn dreams into reality.
I like digital forensics because I want to help stop some of the crimes in society. I think getting a degree will help me in the future because it will give me an advantage of getting a job. If someone was transferring colleges, I would recommend Sam Houston State University because of the atmosphere and the support from the professors.
Sam Houston State University. Discover a great name in Texas education.
We are wholly dedicated
to seeing the whole picture,
to serving the whole world,
to experiencing a whole world of opportunities.
For a university founded on the whole person, body, mind, and spirit.
Southland Conference basketball on ESPN3, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit online at toyota.com. Also by your Texas State Farm agents. Get to a better state with a brand new truck. Visit texas.statefarm.com for details on how to win. By Jostens, the official championship ring provider of the Southland Conference. Jostens, the ring of champions. And by the official bank of the Southland Conference, Mid-South Bank. It's time to love your bank. Oral Roberts already set to go for the tip, wearing the home whites by virtue of being the top seed. They actually shared that regular season title with Sam Houston State. As again, our officials for this championship clash, Mary Day, Cheney Munch, as well as Rick Morris. As we are set to go. The 1 seed versus the 2 seed. The two teams who fought so hard for automatic buys into the semifinals, ultimately able to step up and pick up victories yesterday. Looking to go 2 for 2 and claim the automatic bid that comes with it.
I thought the buys were instrumental in their wins. Other teams had to play 2 times, maybe 1 time. They got a bye. It showed in the 4th quarter, so to speak, of the game.
They'll go into Sequeena Thomas. Thomas just can't find the touch. Rebound down to Taylor Cooper. But those automatic slots into the semifinals places just so much more value on the regular season. And how about valuing that score right there at 2 points? It's an early advantage for Oral Roberts thanks to Sarah Shelton.
I thought Shelton is going to have to neutralize Beetle a little bit by being on the offensive boards and defensive boards. This is the contrast Lincoln and Styles. The Bearcats are a defensive-minded team. Oral Roberts is an offensive-minded team.
You talk about neutralizing Beetle. She does crack the starting lineup at the last second. She's out there in the post right now looking for the basketball. Bigham will come down with the rebound, and ORU with a chance to claim an early 4, maybe 5-point advantage. Each team won on their home floor. Of course, Oral Roberts most recently did so in a decisive manner, put a sour taste in the mouths of these 3 seniors for the Bearcats. The Golden Eagles firing on all cylinders early on. 3-pointer for Kevy Looper. It's her final game in the Southland Conference, hoping to play at least once more as a Golden Eagle in the NCAA tournament.
Looper's range was outstanding. She didn't show that range yesterday in their victory. She was 4 or 5 feet past the three-point line.
Looper's second leading scorer in the conference this year. We noted a 3-time Conference Player of the Year in the Summit League. First team all-conference in this, her first and final campaign in the Southland. She's joined on that first team all-conference squad along with number 30, Sequeena Thomas of Sam Houston State.
Great inside-outside look then for the Bearcats. You're down 5-0. They beat you 50 last time. You got to score early.
Bigham off the mark, but a foul called, and he'll set up some free throws here for our Southland Strong player of the game in the semifinals, as Bigham able to help put it into the run for McNeese State, who'd won the last 2 tournament titles. Meanwhile, there you see head coach Brenda Welch-Nichols, a former Bearcat player in her own right. In the post-game press conference, she was very clear. Sam Houston State does not hide the fact that she inherited the worst team in the conference, and she has built them into one of the top contenders along with this senior class.
Done an outstanding job just getting them to believe that they can win. I talked to her before the game. She said one of her greatest challenges was getting the Bearcat team to believe that they could win conference games.
Bigham becomes the 3rd Golden Eagle to score early on. All 5 starters were in double digits in Tulsa when these 2 teams last met for the Golden Eagles.
Oral Roberts came out in a little trap I thought hurt McNeese State yesterday. They come at it against the Bearcats this afternoon.
Shanice Smith finds Sequeena Thomas. Bearcats' second chance opportunity. Brittany Martin had the defender Bigham off her feet. They'll go in for the 15-footer. Sequeena Thomas able to make good on the second try.
Thomas can give them a lift. She's a senior. She can score inside. She has to carry her team early.
She's averaged 14 points per ball game each of her last 3 years in Huntsville. She's averaged a double-double those 3 years as well. But this time, Beadle will beat her out for the rebound. And we'll see a lot more rebounds coming Angela Beadle's way next year as a junior and the subsequent years as a senior. But already a big cog in what has been their first ever share of a Southland Conference title in women's basketball. Shanice Smith trying to dial up a 3, won't go. Ball stays with the second-seeded Bearcats. We mentioned both teams 13-5 in conference. They had to go to the tiebreakers, and ultimately that was settled when looking at their record against the 3rd-seed Lamar. Of course, Sam Houston State put an end to the run of Khalees Lloyd and that talented Lamar program, who went to the NCAA tournament as recently as 2010. Beadle, the putback.
Beadle has been such a force in the two games that they have had. Offensive boards, not only scoring when she touches it, but going on the boards. What a great offensive play.
Angela Beadle joins Sequeena Thomas as the 2 Bearcats who have combined for their 6 points. Bigham will swing it out to Looper. Bigham fires, and shot will go off the mark. Sequeena Thomas with the defensive board.
This is a great start for Sam Houston State. Last time you played this team, they beat you 50. You're down 1. You needed to start before the first TV timeout.
Light screen for Brittany Martin. Martin trying to work for an open shot, draws 3 white-shirted Golden Eagles and fires right over them.
So goes Martin, Thomas, and Smith for Sam Houston State. That's how this basketball team is built. That's how they play.
Bearcats have their first lead in school history in a Southland Conference Tournament Championship game. Looper couldn't field it cleanly. Instead, will go in for the 7-footer and drops it right on through the All-American.
Looper's such a nice player. She had 17 points in their win yesterday. She just has great shot selection and great forward balance.
Well, Megan Herbert, once again, for the 3rd time, was the Southland Conference Player of the Year, but Kevy Looper actually had more Player of the Week honors than any other player in the conference this year with 5. She doesn't mind not getting all the individual accolades, and they can claim that automatic bid to her first ever NCAA dance.
You got to keep Thomas off the board. She's averaging 12 rebounds for the year per game.
Back and forth, a couple of lead changes. Golden Eagles can't respond to Thomas on that last end. Johnson lobs it in. Sequeena Thomas again, triple team. Has her shot contested by the 6'3" Shelton. They'll go into their own 6'3" post player, the sophomore Beadle, just off the mark. Key asking for the ball. Instead, the three-pointer comes from the opposite end of the wing out of the hand of Taylor Cooper.
See, Sam Houston State does not want to get into an up and down, constantly running. They want to run, but selective running. They're going to slow it down, bring it down, let Johnson control it for them, and get one of their big three a good look inside.
Championship game almost 6 minutes old.
And what a game, by the way.
Living up to expectations, 1 seed versus 2 seed here early on. Martin had Key off balance, could not draw the foul. Shot clock expires, and we'll have our officials come together. When we come back, Bearcats will hope to claim possession, but no. Ball back over to the Golden Eagles, trailing by 1 in the championship game.
Oh, it's going to take us today to come out here. We got to play great defense, a lot of tenacity out there. And our defense has been, you know, our calling card right now. We've done a great job. Our main kids have to come out. They got to be focused in putting the ball in the goal. We need Angela Beadle to come out, have another great night.
In the semis, when that was kind of a monkey that was on our back during this regular season, to be able to make it into the championship game in our program's first year in the conference finals. We've accomplished some things that were a little bit beyond my wildest dreams this year as a first-year head coach. I think at this point we'll go out and try to do the same things that we've been doing for the last 8 weeks especially.
A couple of head coaches entrenched in their respective communities. You see Misty Cousin, although she's in her first year as head coach, it's her 17th season now on the staff for the women's basketball program. For Brenda Welch-Nichols, a former player, now in her 7th year at the helm of the Bearcats. Kevy Looper and the Golden Eagles looking to reclaim a lead here in this opening half. But rebounds continue to fall the way of Sam Houston State, winning the early battle 11-5.
The first 5 minutes of this basketball game, 6 minutes, no turnovers by any of the team. That means they're getting good looks at the basket. Great rebounding by Sam Houston State on the defensive end.
Big one picks up the responsibility of Martin. Shot clock more than halfway down, and they'll settle for a three-pointer in the corner. Looking for the offensive rebound, they'll be denied, as ultimately Taylor Cooper, the pride of Shawnee, Oklahoma, able to haul it in.
Sam Houston State is very patient on offense. On the other hand, Oral Roberts will be a little quick, but I like how they play, how they look for the open shots. Look for them to get Looper involved on this possession.
Cooper being defended by Sally Clavel, who's come into the ball game for the Bearcats. Looper can't find a lane, denied by Jasmine Wiley. Bigham back out to Looper. Just enough breathing room, and the senior connects again.
I thought that was a great screen by her teammates, but Looper did a nice job of running off of the screen, setting herself up with a quick release. Here comes a little half-court trap by Oral Roberts. I thought this was very good to them in their win over McNeese State yesterday.
You can see how Kevy Looper became the 48th player ever in women's basketball to score in excess of 2,500 points. She's made every start in her career. Again, Brittany Martin has the assignment for now. We saw Martin on Khalees Lloyd in that semifinal yesterday. Two tough seniors just grinding it out all game long, with Martin's Bearcats ultimately prevailing.
I asked Martin before the game, I said, what's the secret to this game today for you guys? She said, I'm going to draw Looper. I've got to do a better job than we did on her in our 50-point loss. I've got to find some way to deny her the ball. She wants this challenge, but right now, Looper is on fire. They got to find a way to deny her the basketball.
In 26 years, those fans from Huntsville have never been allowed to go dancing. They are one win away from making their first trip to the NCAA tournament. Looper and Martin, a foot race to the basket. And Martin, not wanting to commit the foul, will surrender two more. Number 15, Looper now with 8.
I thought that was a great defensive play by Martin. Looper had it wide open left. Don't compound your problem by fouling, especially if you're one of the key players on your team.
Martin settled for long-range shots a couple times yesterday. This time he'll give up the ball. Golden Eagles not allowing anybody into the post and ultimately forces the turnover.
The Golden Eagles are doing it with a change in defense. They're showing a 2-guard front one time and another 1 guard the next time, and they forced 2 turnovers on their last 2 possessions.
Vanna Buck off the bench will set a screen for Bigham. Able to run right by it. Jasmine Johnson glued right to number 22. Travel call against Bigham. Ball back over to Sam Houston State. Both teams will swap turnovers here, but moments ago, Kebby Looper scoring her points, number 9 and 10. She has single-handedly matched the Bearcats so far. Misty Cousin talking to her squad, including Kebby Looper, who already has 10 points. She had 17 points yesterday in the semifinal, coach. Despite fouling out with still 10 minutes to play.
See, I think when she fouled out, that made her mad. And now she's making up for it in this game. She's much more assertive on offense. She's hunting the ball. Here comes that little trap. Now they alternate between what times they run the little trap and when they don't run it.
All right, Carter will kick it out. And it comes back down to the Golden Eagles as Kebby Looper has scored the last 7 points for the Golden Eagles. We'll see if they look for number 15 once again. Well, we know that's not an option. She's actually getting a rare breather here in this first half.
Yeah, I think Looper's got it. They're going to try to rest her some and then bring her back in. But if you're Sam Houston State, you're seeing this zone and you're settling for an outside shot. You got to be more patient. Reverse the basketball and get it inside to Thomas. Well, she's been such a force early. She hadn't touched the ball in the last 4 possessions.
Key, a talented three-point shooter in her own right, looking to lob it in on a design play. Inside is Savannah Buck, the 5'10 senior, but tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Golden Eagles.
That's a long wrist for Looper, wasn't it? About 12 seconds. That's how valuable she is to this Oral Roberts basketball team.
Yeah, Looper, they know they had a good one in Tulsa when as a freshman she faced Brittany Griner in 6th-ranked Baylor and scored 32 points and hauled in 8 rebounds against the squad from Waco.
Looper comes in the game, they run a little lob play, she scores, and the first time she touches the ball,
Martin, a senior in her own right, but draws the front of the iron. Each of these two teams just playing for the second time in the tournament this week, making their debut yesterday in the semifinals by virtue of the new structure in the Southland Conference tournament, advancing the top 2 seeds straight to the semifinals. Bigham considered a step back, they'll say on the line, doesn't matter. Looper with the rebound. Second chance opportunity coming up. And another travel, nice job, Sequeena Thomas putting a hand in the face and forcing Buck to decline the shot.
See, I still think this is a crucial point in the game for Sam Houston State. You're down only 6, but you can't let a team that can score like Oral Roberts get up 10 or 12 on you.
Clark Davis, the sophomore, will join the fray. She one of 2 Mansfield natives out of Mansfield, Texas, on the floor right now for the Bearcats. This the other one, Shanice Smith. And Smith, she had the right idea, whipped it into Thomas. Thomas just not ready for it.
I don't think Thomas was expecting the pass. When you're a scorer, you got to look for the ball at all times.
Looper already 10 points, looking to get teammates involved. Here come the Bearcats. Bearcats on their last 9 possessions now. 7 missed shots, 3 turnovers, including the last possession, and Thomas tries to get them on the right track once again.
One of the ways to beat a zone is to beat it down the court before it's set up. Then Martin fed the ball to Smith, and they were able to run the ball, go inside to Thomas for a layup.
11 minutes into this opening half, Golden Eagles lead by 4. Going straight to the basket, drawing the foul. And that will be just the second whistle of the half against the Bearcats.
When Oral Roberts runs a lot of little cuts, you'll see them cut, send Cooper inside, and then she's able to draw the foul. But they do a nice job of spreading the floor, have passers hold the ball a little bit longer, and then have cutters to go inside to the basket.
Cooper, a 65% free throw shooter, makes the first one. Bearcats catch a break. Instead of that being the second whistle on Sequeena Thomas, it's just the first personal foul on Clark Davis. See Deddy Balla going back over to the bench.
When Oral Roberts is able to convert free throws, they then come back and run a little half-court trap, and they're doubling the ball. They're doubling Smith each and every time, making her give up the ball, taking the ball out of the best ball handler for Sam Houston State.
A 9-2 run now for the Golden Eagles gives them a 6-point lead. Martin wide open. And you can't leave her that open that often. She missed early on, connects this time around.
That was because Smith was able to penetrate the zone and kick it out.
Well, for Brittany Martin, her last game against Nichols scored just 7 points. That snapped a 42-game span in which Martin scored in double digits. Meanwhile, Savannah Buck pours in a pair.
Right now, Oral Roberts is getting too good a penetration to the basket. Their last 2 shots have been layups.
Sequeena Thomas begging for the ball. Instead, that door was slammed shut by Sarah Shelton, the transfer from SMU. Looper gets help from Bigham, picked up by Smith. Again, we'll look to get Cooper back involved. Taylor Cooper, dangerous from 3, a 37% shooter from downtown, but the Golden Eagles go 0 for 2 on this trip.
Now, Sam Houston State, I think, has to be very patient, have some ball reversal, move the ball from side to side, make Oral Roberts play team defense.
Shanice Smith, perhaps the least talked about of the 3 seniors, joins them with all-conference selection this year. But Smith really the grandma who looks out for these Bearcats. Right now, Coach Misty Cousin in her first year with the Golden Eagles, looking to guide them back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2008. For a 6th straight year, the Southland Conference and the city of Katy, Texas, putting on a great show here inside the Leonard E. Merrill Center. Looper, obviously a big part of the senior class for the Golden Eagles. Martin continues to have the assignment, gets help from Thomas. Thomas stays right on her. Thomas named that all-defensive squad selection, Defensive Player of the Year. In fact, the standout in the conference this season.
And Beadle, anytime she gets her hands on a defensive rebound, forget it, go to the other end. Davis
pushed out of bounds. That will be ultimately a foul called against Taylor Cooper.
Houston State's going to try to run an out-of-bounds play where they can get Thomas open. They're going to set a little screen and slip her back inside.
Saw Brenda Nichols, head coach of the Bearcats. Clark Davis will take a seat with her fine performance off the bench here early on. Almost had a chance to see Jason Hooten later on tonight in the championship game with the Bearcats men, but in the end, the top 2 seeds prevailed in both the women's and the men's brackets. Northwestern State able to fight off a very impressive effort from Coach Hooten's squad last night.
Going to be a great men's championship.
That'll be with our friends Carter Blackburn as well as Mark Adams on ESPN2 at 7:30 Central tonight. Right now, we still have a lot to be answered here in the women's game. And what a nice stroke right in rhythm for Taylor Cooper.
That is kind of a one-handed lead-in shot for a freshman in a championship game. What a shot.
She was the 2nd leading scorer in the conference among freshmen with 10.2 points per contest. Already with 4 here in the championship game. A little over 6 minutes to play till halftime.
Sam Houston State, you're down 7. Now you got to find a way to get it inside, get a shot. Since early in the game, when you had 10, you've only scored 5 points in the last 6 or 7 minutes. You need to get a good look at the basket.
2nd personal foul on J.C. Bigham. That being explained by official Mary Day to head coach Misty Cousin, who saw her All-American and Kevin Looper foul out yesterday. It was still 9:53 to play, but Golden Eagles were able to hang on to that advantage, and Looper gets to live to play again in the Southland Conference tournament here today.
I thought that was a great timeout by Coach Nichols. You're down 7. You've turned it over 3. You didn't have any turnovers early. Now you got 7. You call a timeout, kind of bring your team together, get them together, and talk to them about getting quality looks. I think you got to go inside to Thomas. Thomas has scored the most for them. You got to give her a look inside.
Let's delve into some of the details as we take a look at the tournament selection process. The committee, of course, RPI is always touted throughout the year. Strength of schedule, non-conference strength of schedule, you work your way right on through, and there are plenty of folks in a room isolated up in Indianapolis, Indiana right now, going through all the resumes, keeping a watchful eye on all these championship games as well.
There are a lot of coaches at home nervous, just thinking, am I going to make it or not?
Looper stripped of the ball, Beadle comes up with it. Again, Angela Beadle, 19 points, matched a career high yesterday in the semifinal, earned a start here today. Ball tipped by the Golden Eagles, so no backcourt violation, no over and back call. Sam Houston State, though, 5 turnovers in their last 7 possessions. Sequeena Thomas's bid for 2 points, coming up just short off the front of the iron.
Will Roberts does a nice job of getting to 50-50 rebounds and then coming on the other end and converting.
Oh, what an extra effort from J.C. Piggin, but in the end, no points to show for it. And Bearcats will now draw the frustration foul out from ORU.
So you cannot take that foul in the backcourt after you missed the shot. Buck, get back on the other end. All you're going to do is put Sam Houston State in the penalty later on in the half.
Savannah Buck, one of the 3 seniors for the Golden Eagles, Similarly, 3 seniors for the Bearcats. They work it inside to one of them. Shanice Smith headed to the free throw line to shoot one more.
What a pass by Martin. Threaded the needle right down the middle. Smith has a presence. When you talk about Sam Houston State, you're talking about the big 3. Martin, Thomas, Smith. These kids do it. This is why they're here today.
Brittany Martin had 11 assists yesterday as she struggled otherwise from the floor, shooting just 1 for 9, but found a way to keep her teammates involved.
And right now, that's a big basket. You cut it down with the potential to go 4 right here before halftime. Try to get the game down to a 1 or 2 pointer. It's the mental lift for you.
Shanice Smith, like her 2 senior colleagues for the Bearcats, all in excess of 1,000 career points, adding another one to her resume right there. Inside of 5 minutes, opening half. Southland Conference Women's Championship game now well underway. Rebound and putback. Beadle denies, but they're going to call a foul on the sophomore from Austin, Texas. Each of these teams, for the first time ever in their school's history, playing in this Southland Championship game.
But I think they're handling the pressure of the game so well. They're both playing in the championship for the first time of this conference. They're playing for the right to go play, and if the loser does not play in the NCAA tournament, that's a nice job of playing some quality basketball here in the first half.
Taylor Cooper, a 65% free throw shooter, will shoot one more.
I thought Rod did a nice job of evading the defender, going around. Cooper does a great job of offense for a freshman. This kid is very, very good.
As just a freshman, earned honorable mention and the respect from the coaches around the league in the Southland Conference this year. And they're going to call a carry on the veteran Martin.
Martin thought she got fouled all throughout the possession, and that's a tough call, but I thought it was a very, very good one. A call you don't see very often, but I think that it happens, and I think you need to make that call. Mary Day is a quality official. I had her when I coached in the Southeastern Conference.
Bearcats now have as many turnovers as they have made field goals, 8.
That's not a good combination, Lincoln. 8 and 8, especially turnovers versus field goals.
They'll go inside, utilize that size advantage. The former SMU Mustang out of Fort Worth, now proud to be a Golden Eagle. With now 4 points in this first half for Sarah Shelton. It's an 8-2 run for the Golden Eagles thanks to the turnovers from the Bearcats. Beadle banging bodies inside. Smith goes in for a closer look. Martin with a veteran move, gets Looper off her feet, but can't make her pay.
Will Roberts is doing a great job of being very, very active in their zone. So many teams play a zone that play it very passive. Will Roberts is moving, hand in the face. They double a lot of shooters. They rush a lot of people. Nice job.
Stacey Bigham called for a double dribble. 3:40 remaining in the opening half. Golden Eagles hanging on now to an 8-point advantage with a trip to the big dance up for grabs.
Back live at the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas. Late first half, 26-18 advantage for Oral Roberts. Coming up on the Toyota halftime report, a lot to get to, including a state of the conference message. Longtime commissioner of the Southland Conference, Tom Burnett, he will stop by the studio here upstairs, high above the Merrill Center. We'll talk about the state of the Southland Conference, 50-year anniversary, by the way, for the Southland Conference. Also, we'll speak with the folks from State Farm, a great neighbor for the Southland Conference. Talk about all what they do and their involvement with the Southland Conference and this year's tournament here at the Merrill Center in Katy. Plus highlights and stats coming up on the Toyota halftime report. We'll see in a few minutes. Right now, back to Lincoln and Van Chancellor.
All right, thank you very much, Randy. Looking forward to the Toyota halftime report. Sam Houston State's been on the trailing end for about 12 minutes now in the first half after the two squads continue to exchange leads in the early minutes.
They've done a nice job, Oral Roberts has, in this traps him, double teaming each and every time a person touches the basketball. Thomas is having a hard time receiving the ball. What a great play inside.
Sequeena Thomas now with 10 points in this opening half, despite, again, three defenders crashing around number 30.
Oral Roberts comes down and sets a triple and double screens for Looper. She may not get a shot, but she could. So many defenders go to her, other people get open.
Yeah, Kevy Looper already in double digits with 12. Beadle on Looper. Mismatch. Looper will try to go right around her until Martin comes out to help. And Looper fights for the rebound. Dual possession, and ball's going to go the other way to the Bearcats.
Now you got 3 minutes to go. You're Sam Houston State. You're down 6. This is a crucial part. Endings of halves are so crucial to an offensive basketball team. Sam Houston State, you got to get a good look.
They're running things through Beadle up top. Basically keeping Angela Beadle out of the low post to give Sequeena Thomas room to move around.
They changed. Coach Nichols done a nice job. She brought Beadle out because she's such a great passer. She's so tall to see over this half-court trap, getting Martin a better look at the basket.
Now they reward the sophomore, and Beadle just can't finish. Thomas with yet another trademark offensive rebound, and she's headed to the free throw line, fired up.
But Thomas knows that you've been playing for 4 years. You've been an all-conference. You're a double-double machine. She's averaging 12 rebounds. But now it's time for me to step up offensively. Coach Cousins is asking for a call. Coach, if your hands are moving forward, it's going to be a foul every time your kid was hands were moving forward.
Yeah, Sarah Shelton gets whistled for her second personal. Thomas hits the first. As Coach Brenda Welch-Nichols again. An all-tournament selection back in 1989 in the Southland Conference as a Bearcat. Now, the head woman of this program for the past 7 years. Bigham going straight into the body of Jasmine Johnson, forcing the officials to make a call.
Bigham does a nice job. They run a little 4-out at Oral Roberts. They set one side where there's no one on this side. There's not but one player over there. That's Looper. Nobody can help off of her. And Bigham does a nice job of getting to the basket, drawing fouls, and she can shoot free throws.
That's her third point. Talking about J.C. Bigham. It's the 4th team foul on Sam Houston State.
Bigham shoots 77% from the free throw line.
All 4 points for Bigham have come from the charity stripe here today. She's 4 for 4. Fans making their way from Huntsville, Texas, from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all throughout the Southland Conference region to take in this championship contest. Bigham slams on the brakes. Looking to feed Cooper for a 3-ball. She'll now drive in, utilizing her size, but kicks out to where Kevy Looper was and not where Looper was going. It's a turnover by Oral Roberts. Their lead still just at 6.
Cooper is a freshman. Sometimes, Lincoln, freshmen try to do a little too much. I thought she tried to dribble drive. Give up the ball. You're a shooter. Let someone else make a play. Get you a shot.
How fun is it going to be to watch Cooper for the next 3 years, though?
Going to be a great player in this league.
With big bodies banging down there along the baseline. Neither would give. In the end, they go to Thomas, and another pass that's just too hot for the senior to handle.
A little too hard. Pass from Johnson to Thomas. A little too hard, a little too high. If you make a better pass, that's a layup.
Bigham gets the call in from her first-year head coach, Misty Cousin, longtime assistant. Double team help from Thomas. Ball stripped away, and that is, again, your defensive player of the year in the Southland Conference. Looper, though, tips the ball out of play. She was on the all-defensive squad here this year.
I think, Thomas, the reason she can guard inside, she can guard on the perimeter, steal from a point guard, has quick hands, quick feet.
The 47% three-point shooter is back on the floor, and Christian Key, as Savannah Buck will return to the bench.
Key was instrumental yesterday in their win, 3 for 4. Anytime she got a spot-up shot, she was able to knock it down.
Key grew up in Tulsa, now gets to play her college ball on behalf of the city for the Golden Eagles. 10th turnover just then by Sam Houston State, won't lead to points as ORU gives it right back.
Game started out with no turnovers. There have been too many turnovers lately.
Beadle the kick out. And Angela Beadle with yet another assist here in the tournament, thanks in part to the stroke from Jasmine Johnson.
So Johnson's going to have to knock down some shots because she's getting a lot of shots.
Johnson with her first 3 points of the ball game, and Looper claims 2 of those points right back. Looper now with 14 in the first half.
But I like to put mentally Looper every time Sam Houston makes a play, makes a run. She gets the ball, goes one-on-one, and knocks the shot down.
Bearcats cannot quite hold for the final shot. 5-second differential. Smith, screen from Beadle. Smith will lose it out of bounds. They'll say last touch by the defense of Oral Roberts.
But if I'm Sam Houston State, I'm going to run it down as close as I can. I want to take the last shot as possible, going in at halftime, no more down than 5.
Misty Cousin and the Golden Eagles are going to call a timeout here again. These two teams split during the regular season when you look at the win-loss column, but the last time they met in Tulsa, it was certainly anything but just evening up the record. A 50-point victory, 90-40 for those Golden Eagles.
How could one team win at home and then go on the road and get beat 50? That's what'll drive a coach crazy. But when you think about it, it's payback time for Sam Houston State.
Well, this is the final women's Southland Conference game of the year. The men will wrap things up over on ESPN2, 7:30 Central Time. Again, our friends Carter Blackburn and Mark Adams will have the call. Top-seeded squad of Stephen F. Austin will be taking on second seed Northwestern State.
Northwestern State is going to be running and gunning. Stephen F. is going to be playing tremendous defense.
Janice Smith catches and fires. The rebound comes down to Bigham. They'll have 15 seconds for the final shot. A lead of 5, chance to stretch it to 7, maybe 8.
Look for Looper, let her go one-on-one. Dribble drive, clear it out, get 1-4 on the baseline.
Looper on Martin, senior on senior. She'll kick out. 3-pointer won't go for Savannah Buck. So Oral Roberts will take a 5-point lead into the locker room. Coaches will make adjustments when we come back. It's our Toyota halftime report. Bearcats and Golden Eagles for the first time in the championship, looking to represent the conference for the first time in the big dance.
We are back live at Katy, Texas, Leonard E. Merrill Center, home to the Southland Conference Tournament here on ESPN3. We've got a great one here at the half. Top-seeded Oral Roberts leading number 2 seed Sam Houston State 30-25. Should set up for a fantastic final 20 minutes here as we begin Championship Saturday in Katy, Texas for the Southland Conference Tournament. Might add, the 50th anniversary of the Southland Conference, actually 50 years yesterday. So we're joined now by longtime commissioner Tom Burnett. Tom, always good to see you. 11 years now at the helm of the Southland Conference. I know you're proud of where the conference was and now currently is and where it's headed.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a great history. We've been able to celebrate a lot of that this year, and certainly very proud of that, and trying to make some more memories currently and certainly in the future.
Talk about, if you can, the strength of the women's basketball programs in the Southland Conference. I mean, you look around when this tournament started, you've got some great programs that made their way to Katy, and you look 4 or 5 teams deep for sure. I mean, these are great basketball teams. Very little separation from the top to the bottom here.
Yeah, and we're really proud of where the women's programs have come over a period of time here. I would say certainly that we now have the ability to step out of conference and win games. And I don't know we were doing that 6, 7 years ago. We've got great coaches, some administrators, presidents committed to the strength of women's basketball. I think we're going to have 4, maybe 5 teams in postseason tournaments next week. And we've also got a new one coming in, Abilene Christian, that made the Division II playoffs this year. So
that's a big statement for the conference.
Yeah, I think so. We've come really a long way. So we're very proud of what our women's coaches have done with our programs. Certainly the showcase we can provide for them here at the Merrill Center. And I think there's big things to come in the future.
You mentioned the coaches, the recruiting base also continues to grow in this conference. Some quality athletes are coming through.
Absolutely, and you know, we're spreading now into full-time play here in the Houston area, with HBU coming in, into New Orleans, back to San Antonio, and great things ahead for this conference.
You mentioned some new additions. We got one of them here today playing for a championship, Oral Roberts. What a great addition this institution has been, and you got, as you mentioned, 4 more on the way, but this is a great start for a storied athletic program like Oral Roberts.
Absolutely, and we always knew ORU was very good at what they do, and this is one of the sports they really prioritize up in Tulsa. They've done a great job. Coach Custon's doing just a wonderful job in her first year. So, but they're going to be good going forward, so we're really happy about that.
All right, looking ahead, we've got the Women's Championship, another 20 minutes to go. Oral Roberts and Sam Houston State here. Later tonight, the Men's Championship game. You've got top-seeded Stephen F. Austin. What a season they have turned in for Danny Casper, the Coach of the Year in the Southland Conference. They'll take on the Demons from Northwestern State on ESPN2. An outstanding way to showcase the conference tonight between 2 quality programs.
Yeah, you know, we got the #1 offense against the #1 defense, the irresistible force against the immovable object. So we'll see what happens this 3rd time around. Some joke last night, this is World War III since they split the first 2 games. So it should be a great showcase for the conference. Expect a big crowd tonight, and it's always good when you can have one playing 2.
All right, very good. Tom Burnett, a longtime commissioner, 11 years now as commissioner of the Southland Conference. Always good to catch up with you. Another great tournament. It's been a lot of fun. More to come throughout the day here on Championship Saturday. We're at the half of the Women's Championship game. Oral Roberts leading Sam Houston State 30-25. Coming up, we'll talk with the good folks from State Farm. Also, highlights and stats and get you ready for the second half here on ESPN3. We're back live at the Leonard E. Merrill Center in Katy, Texas, about a half hour west of Houston. We're at halftime of the women's championship game. Top seed Oral Roberts leading the number 2 seeded Sam Houston State Bearcats 30-25, 20 more minutes of action. The winner, of course, clinches the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Talk about the season that has just wrapped up leading up to this conference tournament and some major awards on the women's side. Let's talk about the player of the year in the Southland Conference. And congratulations to all involved. That would be Megan Herbert from Central Arkansas. Really a standout season. League best 83 double-doubles in her career. Just outstanding numbers. Led the conference in scoring with 19.7 points per game. In conference play, though, she topped that 21.3. So congratulations, Megan Herbert. Central Arkansas, though, eliminated on Wednesday. Other awards now throughout the conference from this past season. Take a look at some of those now, if we can. The newcomer of the year, Cecilia Okoye from McNeese State. Freshman of the year, Janelle Perez from Northwestern State. Defensive player of the year on the floor in this ball game, Sequeena Thomas from Sam Houston State. 12 rebounds per game, among other things, to lead the Bearcats. And congratulations to the coach of the year. That would be Brenda Welch-Nichols, head coach of Sam Houston State. And she has her ball club here in the championship game against Oral Roberts. All right, so we are joined now by one of the longtime partners of the Southland Conference, a good friend of the conference. That would be State Farm Insurance. They've been around for many years, as you know. We're joined now by Cesar Saldivia, a local State Farm agent here in the Katy area. First off, welcome to the Merrill Center.
Thank you very much.
Enjoying some basketball today.
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Talk about the involvement and what it means, not only for you as an agent and representing State Farm, but as the company as a whole, being involved in collegiate athletics, amateur sports, on down the list.
Absolutely. You know, for a long time, State Farm has been a sponsor of high school, college, and pro sports. We are very committed to helping the youth, you know, prepare for the workforce and to be involved in their community. So we believe, you know, through helping them where they're on the field and on the schools is important to us.
It's almost an identity when you think of sports across the country, but especially here in Texas. You see State Farm's name all over the place.
Absolutely. We have about 1,500 agents, and all of us are, you know, in all the communities and supporting the schools, events, and like particularly with this tournament, you know, being the 50th anniversary, we're extremely proud to be the presenting sponsor. It's very important to us.
You big basketball fan?
Big basketball fan. Yeah, I love him.
Not a bad atmosphere here, is it?
Absolutely. Houston Rockets, go.
I'm sure there's, yeah, exactly. I'm sure there are a lot of alums from the Southland Conference, whether it be Sam Houston, Oral Roberts, Stephen F. Austin, some of these schools that will be playing today, Northwestern State. There's alums that do what you do. They represent State Farm, and they represent, really, as an alum, the Southland Conference.
Absolutely, because we've been supporting sports for so long, and we are all over the place, like I say, in all the communities. And, you know, when you go to see a State Farm, what you really see is folks, like you say, like we used to play sports, and they're very involved in the community, a lot of teachers. Like I was in the corporate world before, but now it's the sense of being involved in the community, helping the youth is what's important to us.
Great way to stay connected. Hey, we appreciate you being out here.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate all the support from State Farm, proud sponsor of the Southland Conference. We appreciate that.
Cesar
Saldivia, local State Farm agent here in Katy. We're taking a break, bringing it close to the second half. Women's championship game, Oral Roberts leading Sam Houston State 30-25. We'll toss it back down to Lincoln Advance shortly with highlights and stats and get you ready for the second half here on ESPN3. Back live at the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas at the half, getting ready for the second half. Oral Roberts leading Sam Houston State by 5. Right now, let's toss it courtside, check in with Lincoln Rose, and Naismith Hall of Famer Van Chancellor will look back at the first half and get you ready for the second half, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Randy. Let's take a look back, Coach, at that first half. Obviously, big stage, and you want your big performers to play their best, and that's what's happening here early on.
Early, Sam Houston State went inside to Thomas. She was able to score. She's led them with 12 points. You get her the ball inside, she's able to convert. And then when you see offensive rebounding and step up, and you see them shoot the ball from outside, Martin is a player that has to score for them.
Kevy Looper, of course, we know what she can do. The All-American, 14 points in that first half.
But then you see Shelton catching and scoring. Looper outside, Shelton inside.
Let's take a quick look at the first half stats. Not a single missed free throw in this ball game, but I know turnovers have you concerned.
Early in the game, they played 5 minutes without any turnovers. In the last 10 minutes, they had 18 turnovers in the last 15 minutes to play. The team that turns the ball over the least amount is going to win the second half.
That'll do it for the Toyota halftime report. When we come back, second half action begins as you're watching live coverage of the Southland Conference Women's Championship presented by Toyota.
2012 Tundra with an available 381 horsepower 5.7-liter V8 engine that can tow over 10,000 pounds and oversized disc brakes. It's the truck that's as dependable as the people who drive them.
Nice truck. Nice boat.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $3,000 cash on Tundra Crew Max Special Edition, with a total savings over $7,600. See your local Toyota dealer.
Aaron, you're all set.
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
You're a dancer?
I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Get out of here.
Aaron Rodgers got his. How about you? Visit your local Texas State Farm agent or visit texas.statefarm.com.
26 years in the Southland Conference, and the Bearcats might be 20 minutes away from getting to the NCAA tournament for the first time, but for the Golden Eagles, they haven't been there since 2008. Wouldn't mind snapping that drought, and at the moment, a 5-point lead to start the second half.
When you're the Oral Roberts, you're starting out the second half. Get a quality look, get a shot for Looper.
Key through Looper will get it back up top to Bigham. Smith can't find her way through, and they had the right idea looking inside to Shelton. But here comes the fast-paced Sam Houston State Bearcats. Smith will draw the bottom of the iron, but also draw the foul. And it's going to be on Kevy Looper. His free throw is coming up for number 34.
At halftime, we talked about turnovers. As you see, Smith have the presence to go up, draw 2 free throws, and get to the line. The Bearcats were able to convert the Oral Roberts turnover into 2 free throws.
Now, unlike yesterday when Kevy fouled out trying to draw a charge with 9:53 still to play in the semifinal, this is just her first whistle. 26 seconds into the second half.
Looper's got to stay in the game. I think she will. But right now, if you're Oral Roberts, anytime you're protecting a lead, you cannot turn the ball over in your first possession. Oral Roberts has got to come down and get some great looks at the basket.
Smith, you see, now 2 for 2 in this ball game from the line. We have yet to see a missed free throw by either squad. We're going to have to wait. 5 points now for Shanice Smith.
What a great game for one of you to move on to the NCAA tournament.
Lincoln Rose along with Hall of Fame coach Van Chancellor. As we have been treated to some very entertaining games all season long, and these two have all certainly been featured in several of the great matchups this year. Kevy Looper, it was her first introduction to the Southland Conference this season, her final year as well as a senior. Great that we got to see her play.
Yeah, and that's why Looper is an all-conference player. She's able to take and convert and make baskets when it counts.
And able to get those 2 points right back. Jasmine Johnson, the Missouri City, Texas native out of Marshall High. Johnson really stepped up her game last year as a sophomore when she started all 30 games, averaging about 31 minutes per contest. But this is how that first half started off. Back and forth, baseline to baseline.
Yes, and Oral Roberts will start out, play a little man early, and then switch to a little trapping zone later in the half.
Thomas showing off her ball handling skills, kicks it out, give Thomas the assist as she is able to dial up her teammate Johnson once again.
When Johnson is feeling it right now, she's making all the plays, dishing the ball out, making the outside shot.
7 points now for Jasmine Johnson. She's already matched her season average with 18 minutes to play. Kevy Looper trying to fire one from long distance. Looper, of course, as a sophomore, became the first female ever to lead the nation in both scoring and steals, but cannot add 3 to her resume just there. A travel called against Johnson, who had scored the last 5 points for the Bearcats.
Johnson might have been looking for the shot. I think there comes a time, if you've been scoring, let the shots come to you. Reverse the basketball, get open looks.
Sam Houston State has trailed by as many as 8 going into halftime, but now within 3. They're back on defense, looking for another stop.
Sam Houston State's done it with good team defense. Offensive foul, illegal screen.
Kevy Looper ran right through Brittany Martin. That's the second whistle on Looper.
Now you can't become frustrated. You'll see the ball screen away.
And pardon me, that's actually out. You see there, it's on Bigham stepping in to Martin.
Now you see the little half-court trap. I thought really was a problem for McNeese State. It's hurt Sam Houston State early.
Well, precision pass in the Beetle, but they call an offensive foul on the sophomore. As ORU gets the ball right back, and Savannah Buck was the brave soul to take that call.
Key word there is brave soul. But when Beetle hits you, that's not somebody that's hitting you with just a little bit of force. That's going to knock you down.
I was no physics major, but I'll agree with you on that. They'll lob it inside. Double team help. Martin got there late and picks up the whistle for Brittany Martin. That's just her first foul.
Or Roberts, the last 2 days, has run a great play. Coach Cousins has run this tremendous play. Little back screen on a lob. They run it, they get it, they convert it. I think it's a tremendous offensive basketball play. Buck's able now to step to the free throw line. She's not a very good free throw shooter for the year, but she drilled that one.
Everybody can hit free throws here with a championship on the line. The 56% shooter. Able to hit on the first one as Oral Roberts now 9 for 9. 10 for 10.
I figure you're going to jinx somebody before this game's over with, buddy.
I wore a neutral tie, so who am I going to jinx?
That's the good answer.
Bearcats trail by 5. Smith runs out of bounds, but last touch by the Golden Eagles. It stays with Sam Houston State. Still plenty of time to shoot. 18 on the shot clock.
Well, Roberts showed that little double team and trap out of a zone. They're 2-3 out of bounds. Watch him trap first pass.
Well, that's a nice luxury Beetle gives you out there. You can just lob one in bounds if you're desperate to beat that 5-second count. Out to Smith. Senior to senior. Thomas with the move on Shelton. Shelton gets the better of it with good positioning. So playing with 3 fouls, J.C. Bigham will march this ball up the floor.
They're not thinking about taking Bigham out of the game. She's a heady player. She'll be able to play with 3 fouls.
She's open in the corner. Late to identify that as Martin has time to pick her up. 7-player rotation again for the Golden Eagles. And no hurry to pull any of their key seniors.
Now, Oral Roberts is going to play them until the drop. You don't come out. We're going to play 7 players. That's the end of the rotation.
Dedi Bala is among those 7 players, and she's about to check in front of the scorer's table, the next option play. Lob into Beetle, pulled that ball down around her waist, and that allows Bigham and company to strip it away.
They're double teaming from Looper on the weak side. She's forcing a turnover.
Denise Smith commits the foul, her first, third team foul on the Bearcats, and free throws again coming up for the Golden Eagles. Free throws will have to wait, but when we come back, Golden Eagles will look to extend their lead back to 6, maybe even 7. You're watching the championship game presented by Toyota. Each team with 6 points here in the second half, and that means that 5-point halftime differential still holding strong with Golden Eagles out on top.
I think right now for Sam Houston State, they got to find a way to get Martin some shots. He's only had 5 points. She's averaging in double figures. I think they've got to set some ball screens or screens away from her and get her some good looks at the hoop.
They were able to win the semifinal despite Brittany Martin only with 4 points. She's got 5.
You reverse the basketball, get open looks.
Bearcats trail by 5. Smith runs out of bounds. Could not swat it from behind, as a nice possession there as it ran right through Shanice Smith, the senior.
As long as Sam Houston State can keep it within this 4 or 5 point range, they'll have a shot at the end.
Looper with 16 points in this ball game. Out to Bigham looking for points 7 and 8. Instead the rebound down to Nia Carter. Smith locking in eyes with Sequeena Thomas. Too many numbers to overcome. Shot clock halfway down. That ball not only halfway through, but all the way for the full 3 points for Jasmine Johnson. That's her second triple. Johnson's got 10 points, second Bearcat in double digits.
Johnson goes to making some outside shots. They keep double teaming Thomas inside.
Strong move, and Thomas, they'll call for contact on the body. She thought she had a clean block instead. It's the second whistle on the senior.
I thought that was a tough call. And then now, Oral Roberts got to convert free throws. You get him to the line, now you got to start making some.
Coach Misty Cousin talking to her point guard, J.C. Bigham. Meanwhile, Savannah Buck makes it back-to-back missed free throws by the Golden Eagles. Still a chance to stretch this lead to 2, but what a job the Bearcats have done since that last time out.
But see, when you start making free throws, you have a tendency to make them. When you miss them, it's hard to start back to make them. Here comes the Oral Roberts half-court trap. This has been their best defense. Getting the 2-1-2, trap every pass, trap every ball handler, and make them make tough plays.
They'll let Johnson cross half-court uncontested before applying the pressure. Smith quickly whips it in to the Pennsylvania native and headed to the line. The pride of Allentown, Sequeena Thomas.
Well, Brendan Nichols ran a great play then. They came out of the trap, they skipped the ball, they hit Thomas back on the weak side for a while. Look at the pass inside. That was before the defender could get back in and make a defensive play.
3-point possession for Sequeena Thomas.
That's how you beat a half-court trap.
And Bearcats have their first lead since 5 minutes into the ball game back in the first half. It was 10-9 at the time.
Oral Roberts, it's Looper time. Screen her away, screen her out, get her on an outside shot.
Looper gets one defender out of her shoes. Now a hard screen. Bigham stops and pops. Able to get it to drop to reclaim a lead for the Golden Eagles. And that's going to prompt a timeout. 41-39, just like that. ORU back out on top by a pair.
What a great pressure shot by Bigham.
So inside of 14 minutes remaining, this championship still within reach for both clubs. A 2-point ball game here in Katy, Texas. Golden Eagle doing everything he can to ultimately get those dancing shoes on by the end of today.
Yeah, that's what their fans are waiting on. They're waiting on winning this game, and let's go to the big dates. Who are we going to play next Friday or Saturday night?
Johnson up ahead to Martin. Bearcats took the lead on their last possession, only to see the Golden Eagles strike with a 3-ball. Now have a 2-point lead of their own. Looper with the rebound, and maintaining possession here, the Golden Eagles will work it up the floor. Well, this one has certainly lived up to expectations when you match up a 1 seed against a 2 seed. 2 teams that split during the regular season, a pair of teams that split ultimately the regular season championship.
Coach Cousins thought you should have got a foul at that time. Now you're at a point of time in the game. You got to play.
Foul will be called on Cooper. And for ORU, their 4th team foul. As Clark Davis will come back in and give Shanice Smith, the senior, a well-deserved breather.
Smith needs about a minute free to go to the TV timeout at 12 and then let her play the rest of the way.
Shanice bumped her own head coach, Brenda Welch-Nichols, to just now the 15th all-time leading scorer in school history. Smith surpassed her with 1,000 career points earlier this season.
If you're the coach, this is when you want them to pass your records. You hold the records. Let's pass it when it counts.
Pull-up jumper won't go. Sequeena Thomas adds yet another rebound to her Southland Conference career. That's her 9th rebound in the championship game, one shy of a double-double with her 15 points.
Well, I guarantee you she'll get one more rebound in this game.
She has often been among the leading rebounders in the country. We mentioned she averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds as a sophomore. Last 2 years has averaged 14 and 12.
When you can average 14 points, a lot of people can do that. Not very many people can average 12 rebounds a game.
For the Bearcats, Nia Carter takes a seat. You saw Angela Beadle comes off the bench there, but Beadle got the start today. She actually made 29 starts last year as a true freshman. Just cannot keep that 6'3" size out of the lineup for long. Beadle off of the screen. Martin instead will kick out. Johnson in stride. Cannot add 2 more to what has already been a 10-point night for Jasmine Johnson. Offensive rebound and put back in. Well, Clark Davis has learned a thing or two from Sequeena Thomas.
What a great offensive rebound. Stick back in traffic.
Johnson will go back out to Davis. And a foul will put Clark Davis at the line. You know, we talk about the 3 seniors, but Clark Davis very much a senior who deserves some recognition in her own right. As she'll step up the line in just a moment. A couple of free throws coming up for the Bearcats. We are tied 41-41 as the madness continues in Katy, Texas. Well, we've got 11 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in the Women's Championship. Remember to tune back in tonight over on ESPN2, 7:30 Central Time. Top-seeded SFA against Northwestern State, the number 2 seed, as Commissioner Tom Burnett said at the Toyota halftime report. The irresistible force, presumably those being the Demons, against the immovable object, which you presume would be the defense of Danny Casper and SFA.
Danny Casper, what a defense it. But my man over at Northwestern State, Mike McConaughey, what an offensive game, a guy he is. Going to be a great matchup. Casper gets mad if you give up a shot. Not 2 shots, I said, but 1.
Clark Davis at the line, shooting a pair of free throws. I mentioned she too, a senior, win or lose, playing in her final Southland Conference contest here in the tournament championship. Sarah Shelton back in the ball game for Deddy Balla. Moments ago, Savannah Buck picked up her 3rd whistle, putting Clark on the line. How's that for senior leadership?
How's that for stepping in, not starting, and making big-time plays late in the game?
Bearcats have their 2nd lead here in the 2nd half. Looper, a little step back over Martin. Martin was not going to give up any ground. That was as good of a look as number 15 was going to get.
Beadle scored as much, but has rebounded so well for Sam Houston State.
They continue to look to Sequeena Thomas, but that's about the 3rd pass that Thomas just wasn't able to haul in cleanly. Possession arrow keeps the ball on this end of the floor.
Thomas is out, but I don't think it'll be very long. This is just going to be a short break. Get back in the game.
So it's Brenda Welch-Nichols, again, the former Bearcat in her own right, 1989 graduate, against Misty Cousin, her 17th year in Tulsa, 16 as an assistant under previous head coach Jerry Finkbeiner. They'll whip it inside, a little extra step from Wiley out to Davis. That ball won't come through. Beadle with the putback, and there's more of what we saw from the sophomore yesterday.
You got to block Beadle out. She's just such a force inside. Anytime you shoot the ball, find Beadle.
Largest lead of the game for the Bearcats from Huntsville. And the 10th rebound from Beadle. And here come the Golden Eagles once again. Savannah Buck.
Johnson has to carry the team with Martin and Thomas out. She's got to be able to make plays.
Shanice Smith was begging for the ball up top. Beadle with the rebound. Second chance opportunity coming up. They'll whip it back to Johnson. Shanice Smith again almost thought about pulling the trigger. And if you're going to lob that into a 6'3" target, you want to put a little more arc on it over Looper, the defender.
You can't throw it too high. Just remember that rule, young players.
Looper straight to the glass. Beadle late to close, picks up the whistle. That is the third foul now on Angela Beadle.
You got to put Martin back into the game. You got to put her on Looper. Looper's just too experienced, too quick for any other defender. Martin Thomas comes back into the game. Good sub. Bring them back in. Let them play. They can rest tomorrow.
Heavy Looper back at the line. She has won a state championship for Adair High School in Oklahoma. She has won a Summit League regular season title, but never got the tournament championship. She's looking to rectify all that and add a Southland Conference tournament championship to the regular season crown that they share with these Bearcats.
With 10 minutes to go, we got a tied game. What more can you ask right here in the championship?
But if nothing else, they got Angela Beadle off the floor with her third personal foul a moment ago. Looper, 2-on-1, now 1-on-none. Bingham with the layup and a foul. Jasmine Johnson did not want to concede the layup, but a little too late on the contact, and Bingham a little shaken up.
You got to do one or two things. You got to either stop her from scoring, watch the turnover here, and you see the great, Bingham just does a nice job of converting. Right here, if you're Johnson, don't take that foul. You either prevent the layup or you give up the layup. The in-between is to give up the layup and a foul. You never do that.
You saw why Looper, who as modest as she is, according to her coach, is never big on sharing awards. Back in the day, a two-time Defensive Player of the Year in her old conference. Was on the all-defensive squad this year in the Southland as they debuted that 5.
Here comes Oral Robbins. Great timeout by Coach Nichols. Oral Robbins is in this half-court trap. You got to be able to solve it now.
This is a 7-point swing here for the Golden Eagles. They trailed by as many as 4 moments ago. A reminder, as you're watching the Women's Championship in basketball, the conference is going to be staying quite busy throughout the spring. Of course, in Frisco, the home of the Southland Conference, where yesterday it was the Southland Conference 50th Anniversary Day is celebrated throughout the city, deemed by the mayor. But women's golf, men's golf on the horizon next month, as well as men's and women's tennis in Beaumont in the backyard of Lamar University. And then Natchitoches, Louisiana will host the best that this conference has to offer out there on the diamond in softball. And when we talk about softball, talking to head coach Brenda Welch-Nichols about what was on the horizon for one of her seniors, Shanice Smith, she said she's working on an advanced degree that'll require another year, and she may even try out for the softball team next season.
But the job I want to host the Southland Golf Tournament. I think that would just fit me perfect.
See if you and I can't get some microphones and head out there.
Yeah, and then when I'm not hosting, I want to be playing.
Bearcats trying to snap a 7-0 run, and why not go straight inside, where the Bearcats have found success. And Sequeena Thomas now 17 points.
Thomas is getting the Bearcats on her back. She just needs the ball.
They go back to Looper, do the Golden Eagles, of course. Cooper takes the three, drives inside, draws the double team, and that frees up her teammates. Put back for Shelton is good. And yesterday in the semifinal, talked about Shelton's volleyball background, but you saw again that extra hop, the second jump. allowing her to get back to that ball and the putback for second chance points.
It's not going to be long. Coach Nichols is going to have to put Beetle in because she can neutralize some of the Oral Roberts height.
Brittany Martin pulls the trigger on this. We talk about what the future holds for these seniors. Martin was actually selected by the NCAA under a new program they have as basically who wants to be a coach. They're going to bring her out to the tournament at the end of the year and let her learn under some of the all-time great coaches. As in all likelihood, one day we'll be seeing Coach Martin on the sidelines.
Well, I think that's good. I think that's a good program by the NCAA.
Meanwhile, Sequeena Thomas picks up Looper. Thomas working on a communications major. Looper, no need to communicate, just locks eyes with that rim and drops it right on through.
You can't give Looper an inch. She'll take a mile. When she steps back, she gets just any kind of shot. She has the presence to step up and shoot it.
20 points for Kevy Looper, who had already fouled out of the semifinal by this point yesterday. Looper today, just one foul. Looper looking for 3 more. Instead, Sequeena Thomas adding to her double-double.
I thought Looper might have could have been a little more patient. She got that shot within about 24 seconds left on the shot clock. Get her a better look at the basket.
The fans who made their way from Tulsa, chanting defense. A trip from Looper, and Shanice Smith in some pain. Well, Shanice Smith has a history with some knee injuries earlier in her career. That is the 17th foul we will point out. Kevy Looper picking up her second as they knocked knees moments ago.
So I think Looper was up to
points for Kevy Looper, who had already fouled out of the semifinal by this point yesterday. Looper today, just one foul. Looper looking for 3 more. Instead, Sequeena Thomas adding to her double-double.
I thought Looper might have could have been a little more patient. She got that shot within about 24 seconds left on the shot clock. Get her a better look at the basket.
The fans who made their way from Tulsa, chanting defense. A trip from Looper, and Shanice Smith in some pain. Well, Shanice Smith has a history with some knee injuries earlier in her career. That is the 17th foul we will point out. Kevy Looper picking up her second as they knocked knees moments ago.
So I think Looper was up defending way too far out on the floor.
They'll whip it back to Johnson. Shanice Smith again almost thought about pulling the trigger. And if you're going to lob that, Sally Clavel, who is going to come in and shoot the free throws. Clavel had just attempted 30 free throws all year, made 18 coming into this tournament. New Orleans native, shooting 2. Pardon me, the 1-and-1. That was just now the 17th foul against the Golden Eagles. At least it was a positive sign that Shanice Smith was able to walk off the floor without any help.
I thought it was just a little bit of a cramp in her leg. I don't think it's anything wrong with her knee.
Yeah, you saw they were trying to stretch out that left leg. Both free throws good for Clavel.
Now if you're the Bearcats, you got to have a stop defensively. Get Beetle back in the game so that she can defensive rebound the ball for you.
Deficit is down to 3, but the Golden Eagles will look to grow their lead once again here. Bigham with 12 points will dish late. Shelton benefits as a result for the easy kiss off the glass.
You cannot help up the lane on a big kid because that gives you a lip. You just fake the help.
It's shots like that that have made the redshirt junior Shelton the most accurate shooter in the league with those high percentage looks. And Bigham took a big bump.
A lot of alums from the Southland Conference, whether it be Sam.
5-point lead for Bigham's Golden Eagles. One of these two teams, for the first time in their school's history, will represent the Southland Conference in the big dance. Fans from Tulsa, win or lose, this is their final game in Katy, Texas. Question is,
there are a lot of alums from the Southland Conference, whether it be Sam Houston, Oral Roberts, Stephen F. Austin, some of these schools that will be playing today, Northwestern State. There's alums that do what you do. They represent State Farm, and they represent, really, as an alum, the Southland Conference.
Absolutely, because we've been supporting sports for so long, and we are all over the place, like I say, in all the communities. And, you know, when you go to see a State Farm, what you're...
Dramatic bid in half. Martin to beat the buzzer, almost. It's a shot clock violation, never touched the iron, so Golden Eagles will have to take it out of play. You saw the second chance stats right there, as of course that plays right into what Sam Houston State has done for the past 4 years with Sequeena Thomas out there on the floor.
Great defense by Oral Roberts. They're 2-3 trapped. They cannot get a shot off Sam Houston State.
Opposite end, a little bit better look from Key, but no. Shelton, another putback try, won't go through this time around.
That's the shot you need at the crucial time. You got to convert it. It would give you a 7-point lead.
That would have given Sarah Shelton 10 points in this the championship. Well, they are determined to get that ball to Sequeena Thomas. Again, she had a third defender crashing in, but Thomas will be shooting the 1-and-1. That's the 8th team foul, the third personal. Now whistled on Taylor Cooper.
If Thomas can catch the ball, she's got such a crowd around her. They're sending the guard off of the weak side to double her, and it's been very, very hard for her to maneuver inside. But what a game with 6:40 to go. Couldn't ask for any more.
Looking for point number 19. They'll beat Beadle to the rebound. It falls into the lap of Christian Key.
Bigham's done a nice job of running this Oral Roberts team. Get in the right people, the right shot.
They're going to call a double dribble on Bigham. Bigham insisting that Johnson strip that ball loose, giving her a new opportunity.
Coach Cousins said that Bearcats touched the ball, forcing her a double dribble. Nobody on their side liked it, but I thought it was a good call.
54-50. Golden Eagles can't stretch their lead. Johnson up ahead to Martin. Again, they first looked at Thomas in the post. Johnson pull-up jumper again with Looper late to close, in and out. So neither team coming away with points on their last possession. Shanice Smith, a good sign, will come back out on the floor at the next stoppage in play. 6 minutes remain in regulation.
Oral Roberts needs to find a way to let Looper get a touch.
And right on cue, the All-American, but off the mark, wide left.
See, if you're Oral Roberts, you're Coach Cousins, that's all you can ask for. You get a wide open look from your best players. You just missed it short to the left.
And there you see one senior, another one for the Bearcats just came back out on the floor, as we mentioned. And Shanice Smith, Coach Misty Cousin in her first year, looking to take Oral Roberts back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since they went back-to-back years in 07 and 08. Martin, catch and release, a beautiful stroke from the senior, right on through, nothing but net.
This is the play that Sam Houston State needs from Martin. She's going to have to look to score to more if they're going to win.
That's just points 6, 7, and 8 for Brittany Martin, who continues to find other ways to be a part of this ball game. Looper right into the body of Martin, and that won't go. Thomas yet another rebound.
See, anytime you don't score, you can't get into your trap as easy.
Smith playing on 2 good legs. And just as I say that, she's pulling up again a bit, fighting through something that appears now in her right leg.
So your seniors are making plays. That's who should make plays late in the game.
Will Bigham try to go around her? Already picked up her dribble. Trailing by 1 as the Bearcats again have come all the way back and taken a lead. Out to Cooper, and Taylor Cooper is no stranger to winning championships. As a junior, she won a state championship at Bethel High School in Oklahoma. As a senior, went undefeated at Shawnee High School, and now with her third school essentially in 3 years, looking for more gold.
But what a great shot. Your team is 1 point behind. You got 4:32. You'll see Looper pass it out. Look at this freshman. Oh, what a beautiful shot. Under pressure with the tournament championship on the line.
Taylor Cooper doesn't know anything short of playing on the final day of the season. Well, the winner of this one will be camping out around a television somewhere, either in Huntsville or Tulsa. Selection Monday. Again, that's coming up March 12th. And the first and second rounds will begin the next weekend.
When you know you're in the tournament, it's one of the greatest days of your life. When you're on the bubble, you're a nervous wreck.
And you see all 63 of those games will be on the ESPN family of networks. Our coverage continues with the men's championship game tonight at 7:30 Central Time over on ESPN2. Shot clock halfway down. Again, it's Martin on Looper, senior on senior, and Martin wins this battle. For Kevy Looper, that's just her third foul. And Martin can enter double-digit scoring for the first time in this tournament.
Martin does a nice job of just getting the ball, willing it to the basket, draw a foul, now go to the free throw line. And where she's shooting 80-something%, that's pretty good. Now it's time to step up, Martin.
Understand how far this program has come under Brittany Martin. Before yesterday's win, Sam Houston State had not won a Southland Conference tournament game since 1997. They've only won 2 tournament games in their school's history before this year, and if Coach Nichols and these Bearcats can match those 2 wins in this year alone, they're going to the NCAA tournament.
This little delay, the TV timeout that's about to come up, favors Smith from Sam Houston State. She gets to set out, she gets to rest a little bit, get her leg healthy.
Martin will make them both, and we're tied 57 all.
Here comes a little trap.
Cooper able to keep it in play. Pressure all the way down the floor. Four minutes of crunch time. Every goal still within reach for both teams. Cooper gets some space, offensive rebound, and Buck will draw the bottom of the iron and also draw a whistle. So in a moment, free throws and a chance to again get a little separation on that scoreboard. Golden Eagles will look for a late lead with a berth in the championship and actually, into the big dance on the line. Three minutes, 48 seconds to sort out some Merrill madness. Lincoln Rose along with Coach Van Chancellor, and there's some individuals who certainly believe they still very much have a chance of winning it all in their first time in the Southland Conference.
What a basketball game. It's going to come down to which stars for which team can make it. Who can make a free throw with about a minute to go with the pressure on? This is a whale of a basketball game to decide who is going to get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Might not be long till it'll be Beetle time to go in and clean the boards up for South Houston State.
And how how much longer can you keep Angela Beadle on the bench? Had some foul concerns early on, but yet already 11 rebounds in this ball game. Buck, first free throw, and it's an ORU lead.
You hear people talk about some of the men players are struggling making free throws in the tournament. In this women's basketball game here tonight, these kids have knocked them down.
Coach, that soreness in your neck is 4 times and 11 lead changes in this ball game.
And very few missed free throws, by the way.
A couple of veterans leading their teams. Shanice Smith fighting for that. Looper wanted the timeout, but there was never possession. And instead, the Golden Eagles able to control it. Here comes Bigham and company, looking to build on a 1-point advantage.
Sam Houston State's just switching all ball screens and screens away from the ball and great defensive pressure.
Well, we know Cooper can shoot the 3-ball, but that time the 6-foot freshman forces the issue and goes straight to the basket.
Defensively, you can't let a freshman go to their right. You got to make them go left. You'll see Cooper get the ball, go right, draw the foul, great presence. And you have to make her, for a great shooter, she's not an outstanding free throw shooter.
8th team foul, 3rd personal on Jasmine Johnson. And Taylor Cooper can't make him pay on the first opportunity. She'll get one more to make it a 2-point lead.
Got to block out on the free throw. This is where more games are won than most people imagine. Someone failed to block out on a free throw.
About a 65% free throw shooter, makes 1 and 2.
Still anybody's game. Now if you're Sam Houston State, you got to avoid this little trap. Beagle's about to come in to give you some offensive point. You got to be able to step up, make a play.
Each team with 3 players with 10 or more points. That includes Martin. Brittany Martin with 10 points in this one after only 4 in the semifinals. We got it done yesterday with the 11 assists, and this time works the ball around to her classmate, Shanice Smith.
What a big-time shot by Smith to tie it up. The seniors on both teams are stepping up and making plays.
Smith has 11. Beadle in front of the scorers table will come in a moment. 59-59 with 2.5 minutes to play. Thomas glued to Buck, and yet Buck is able to work it right on up and over.
I might, if I was Sam Houston State, maybe take a timeout to get Beadle in the game.
Johnson just able to hang on to it. Dual possession, or do we have a timeout? Looks as though timeout called in time by the bench of Sam Houston State.
We got a discussion by the officials. I think we're going to grant Sam Houston State a timeout, not giving up one of the possessions. Great timeout by Coach Nichols. You get the timeout, you don't lose the ball, you get Beadle back into the game.
And you hear Rick Morris perhaps in the background explaining to the scorers table across the way that in fact a timeout was called with possession by the Bearcats prior to any tie-up. So let me ask you, 61-59, 2:09, who has the advantage?
I don't, give me the lead. I don't care where the ball is. I don't care what the situation is. I'd rather have a lead at any time and put me on defense. Oral Roberts is going to come out now with the ball out of bounds on the side with only 20 seconds on the shot clock, and they're going to double the ball. The Bearcats have got to find an answer for that. They got to go high-low, skip a pass, and get an open look because Oral Roberts is going to trap every pass for the rest of the possession.
It's Bearcats basketball. Every defensive or loose ball foul from here on out against Misty Cousins Golden Eagles will lead to the double bonus.
But now, if you're the Bearcats, you got to get it in bounds. Houston's got to get it in bounds to Johnson. I'm surprised. No double team. They're coming out playing straight man, Oral Roberts.
Johnson guarded by Bigham, gets it to the Conroe, Texas native, Brittany Martin, who grew up just north of here. Thomas not content with a 15-footer, and her shot subsequently blocked by Shelton, and then a foul. Wow. 9th team foul. Oral Roberts can go all the way to the other end to shoot the 1-and-1.
You talk about size all the time. That's why I like size. They can just block shots. Shelton does a nice job. Give me a big kid every time.
Sarah Shelton with the clean block, and Sequeena Thomas, after having the shot denied, picks up her 4th whistle.
And now you put an 85% free throw shooter on the line with a 2-point lead.
These seniors, including Kevin Looper, have worked 4 years to get to this point. so close to crossing the threshold and continuing their postseason play.
But if you're Sam Houston State, a long time. A minute 50 is a long time in a game. Just be patient. Just be very patient on offense there. All you got to do is make a basket and put the press on.
22 points for Kemi Looper. She and Bigham will pester Johnson at half court. Beadle was calling for the ball. They get it to her too late. Timeout. Sam Houston State, a minute 35 remaining, and it's a two-possession ball game.
Well, how would you like to be a first-year coach, a head coach I'm talking about, as you watch the replay, you watch the turnover, from Smith to Beadle inside. We talked about it before. When you throw the ball to big players, throw it up high, but I was talking about this. Now you see Coach Nichols, she's got to try to put a press on, but she's still got plenty of time. But first-year head coach has a shot to make the NCAAs. Wouldn't that be nice?
You see the huddle. At the moment, you don't see Coach Misty Cousin. There she is. Again, met her husband, Kyle, in Tulsa at the time. He was the Tulsa soccer coach, the Oral Roberts soccer coach, now over at Tulsa. But now that they're both head coaches, they can control their own schedule, control their family time. But they'll understand if Misty is away from the house a little bit longer here in the month of March.
I bet you he forgets soccer and goes on this trip with her.
All the attention right now on the hardwood floor. Shanice Smith giving it her all, but ball will stay with Oral Roberts.
But see, if you're Sam Houston State in a minute 34, you got at least, you're going to have 4 possessions. Just take your time. 3 at the outside. You got 3 good looks. You got to play defense. You cannot let the ball go inbound.
They get it to Buck. The double team has her frustrated. Timeout by the bench now of Oral Roberts. Misty Cousin knowing the value of every possession, leading by 4.
See, in women's basketball, you don't have to be so fast with a 4-point lead. You don't have backcourt, so you don't have to advance the ball. Just get it, make sure you don't turn it over, and then try to advance it. It might be in the last 10 seconds of the 30-second clock.
How many big shots have these two teams produced during the 4-year tenure of their senior classes, and yet they may need to have to ask for one more.
Yes, this has been a great senior class by both teams. They've had to make big shots to get here. This is a game. It's going to be sad if either team loses the basketball game because they have played so hard. One team has just made a few more shots than the other, but there's still plenty of time for Sam Houston State to win this game.
Each team with 1 timeout remaining.
If I'm Sam Houston State, I'm going to face guard. I'm going to deny the ball. I'm going to switch all screens away from the ball. I'm not going to allow it in. You can't let it go into Looper.
Cooper into Bigham, back out to Cooper. And again, full court press being applied.
It's hard to press Bigham. She's just so good at handling the ball. She makes such good decisions. They're going to run the clock down. This possession, I'm going to play the defense. I'm not going to take the foul. I would not have taken that foul.
10th team foul, double bonus. Bigham at the line, shooting 2, has 12 points already today.
With 9 seconds on the shot clock, with a minute 12, maybe the next possession you would have to foul. I did not think you would need to foul then with 9 seconds to go.
With 2 free throws, it would still just be a 2-possession lead technically.
Yeah, but I would have made Oral Roberts make that shot there at that time.
I tend to agree with Naismith Hall of Famers.
And don't get in a hurry now. If you're the team in orange, take your time. You're going to get 3 shots at this basket. Now, you're going to make them all, but you can still win it now.
5-point ball game with 72 seconds remaining in regulation. Got to play smart, get a good look. Smith straight to the basket, denied, and they call a charge to boot. Offensive foul will not lead to free throws, but Golden Eagles getting the ball back. A chance to stretch this lead even further.
I think you got to go all out for a steal.
And the shot was blocked without officially the 20th turnover by Sam Houston State. And now they will stop the clock with 1:03 to play. Well, it is the year that the Southland Conference recognizes its 50th anniversary here in 2013. This championship game, not disappointing. Bearcats and Golden Eagles become a first-time tournament champion in the Southland Conference.
You got a 5-point lead. What else do you want? One of the best free throw shooters, not only in the Southland Conference, but in all the whole country, shooting 85%. You want Looper on the line.
Kevy Looper had 1,000 career points by her sophomore year in the month of December. A 7-0 run here in crunch time for the Golden Eagles, almost with another steal instead free throws.
I've said it often. You got a 7-point lead. Do not foul. Do not let your opponent score with no time running. The clock is stopped. Now you got Sam Houston State, the old double bonus. 2 free throws by another really good free throw shooter.
Yeah, they were looking for the spectacular play, the steal and perhaps a layup instead of playing conservative. Just simply a smart play.
Don't allow Martin to go to the line. Make her make an outside shot. I can remember when Martin won a 2-ball tournament when I was coaching the Comets. Now that made her a little bitty kid at that time.
Back then, she was juggling a soccer and basketball schedule. The reason why she's a Bearcat fan, she had a lot of offers. She had a chance to play both sports. Messed up her knee after her freshman year. Decided to just commit to basketball. And there is no burden on the Golden Eagles to relinquish this basketball for another 18 seconds. They lead by 5. Bearcats need at least 2 possessions to get back in this ball game. And finally the foul by Nia Carter.
You foul one time with 9 seconds. You foul now with 7 seconds. If you're gonna let the clock run that long, you gotta let it go. If you're gonna foul, you gotta foul immediately. And then if you're gonna foul somebody besides Looper. I told you, Looper on the line is a dangerous combo.
25 points for Kevy Looper. She had to be a spectator yesterday for the last 9.5 minutes, and that's some pent-up frustration that she's, well,
there's
a little
no
therapy
doubt.
session at the
Let
line
me tell you,
here.
when she sat down those last 10 minutes, all she was thinking about, ladies, if you get me to the championship game, I will not foul out, and I will.
With so much on the line, every possession mattering so much more here. 6-point ball game. Looper can stretch it to a 3-possession lead.
If Looper makes this, I would then say Sam Houston State's going to have to come down, fire up the 3-ball and foul. But you better foul somebody besides Looper. You want me to make a prediction where Oral Roberts is going? You want me to tell you where they're going to be announced?
First, tell the listeners your email address.
I am sending the Oral Roberts Golden Hurricanes to Baylor University.
Have a date with Brittany Griner and company?
Date with Brittany Griner.
Well, the Golden Eagles have Looper at the line to shoot one more.
How close am I off? Am I off there or not, Regan? You know? What do you think?
Well, probably not too far off when you think about the region. Kevy Looper's not scared of those Baylor Bears. As a freshman, she dropped 32 points on Kim Mulkey's squad, who is ranked 6th in the nation.
They might send them over here to Texas A&M.
So you've named the last 2 national champions. Gary Blair's Aggies and Kim Mulkey's Bears. Stop and pop. Johnson can't get it to fall through. Bigham with a rebound and more free throws coming up. This time it'll be the other senior from McAlester, Oklahoma. Bigham, a 77% free throw shooter.
When Coach Cousins gets up in the morning, her coffee is just going to taste so much better because she's going to really enjoy coming into the Southland Conference for the first time, making the NCAAs as a first-year head coach.
Not too bad for the debut.
Head coach, and been 16 years as an assistant coach, but now you're going.
Bigham makes them both. It's a 9-point ball game. You're talking about 3 3-pointers. Johnson has a couple of triples. Smith is going to settle for a 2, and she'll go to the line with the clock stopped.
Yeah, I still tell you, that's one of my 5 pet peeves. Get off of them. Let them have a shot. Whatever you do, do not foul them with 17 seconds to go in a 9-point lead.
Yeah, let them have 2 points. Because
let them have 3 if they want.
You're risking, if she makes that, letting her score a 3rd point right here. Instead, she'll settle for 2 free throws. Well, the student section for Oral Roberts believes that they, in fact, will be dancing for the first time since 2008. Hopefully for them, that's the first time since they've been students on campus.
That's it. No, some of them have been there since 2008. I'd guarantee you that.
Mom and Dad are ready for them to graduate.
Well, they might. Mom and Dad might be, but they may not be.
Well, they've been sticking around for this. Looks like the wait has been worth it. 17 seconds remain. They need a quick foul unless they're going to concede the final 12 seconds. And they finally will put Bigham back at the line. She made her last 2.
Fouling Bigham just like giving her a layup. This is a senior that's been waiting on this moment for 3.5 years. Certain players wait on the moment now. Certain players avoid the moment. Bigham has been waiting on it yesterday and today.
Let there be no mistake, these seniors for Sam Houston State, when they return to Huntsville, whether it be next week or 10 years from now, they can point to that first ever Southland Conference regular season championship and say, we were a part of the turnaround job with our head coach, a former Bearcat in her own right, then Brenda Welch, now head coach Brendan Nichols.
All of these seniors, they should hold their heads up. Their schools should be so proud of them because they've done a great job of turning it around. They'll be back here in the future.
Brittany Martin has just been fouled shooting a 3-pointer, and well, Kevy Looper understands the mistake made there. With 6.4 seconds remaining, but it might be a little too late.
It's a little too late, but the last 3 possessions Sam Houston State has had, Oral Roberts has fouled. Get back in the zone and let them have a shot. It's time to quit playing so hard.
Brittany Martin in her final Southland Conference game picks up her 13th point. And will shoot 1 more. Pardon me, 2 more in the act of shooting a 3 at the time.
Martin's had a great career here. Thomas, Smith, Davis, all of these kids. Let's give them credit now for fighting, for getting in the championship game. Go come up a little short, but not because of lack of effort.
They played their final game in Johnson Coliseum. Today they play for the final time here inside the Merrill Center, where they had never won before this year. Picked up a win in the semifinals, played on the final day. A clean strip, kick out. Thomas, as the seconds will melt down. Oral Roberts is returning to the big dance for the first time in 2008, and they'll do it as Southland Conference Tournament champions.
Coming into the year for the first time and you win a championship, our hats off to Oral Roberts. I'm so proud for this staff and these kids.
As the newcomers, they were picked to finish 3rd and 4th by the coaches and the media. Surpassed expectations for a share of the title with these Bearcats. Each team going 13-5. It has meant so much to them to live up to that Golden Eagle, Golden Standard. And Coach Misty Cousin, her first year as a head coach, is taking them to the promised land.
And I tell you, it's a great feeling to have won it. You've earned it. You didn't get a bid. You stepped up. You won your league and regular. You tied for it. Now you've won the tournament. What a great feeling for Coach Cousins and all of her coaching staff.
When we come back, we will hear from the championship winning coach and some of her stellar players. Golden Eagles winning the tournament title here on our Toyota Championship.
The 2012 Tundra, with an available 381 horsepower, 5.7-liter V8 engine that can tow over 10,000 pounds, and oversized disc brakes. It's the truck that's as dependable as the people who drive them.
Nice truck. Nice boat.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $3,000 cash on Tundra Crew Max Special Edition, with a total savings over $7,600. See your local Toyota dealer.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent or visit us at texas.statefarm.com.
Get to a better state.
What a debut for Oral Roberts, a share of the regular season championship, and now they claim the automatic bid out of the Southland Conference. And our own Randy McAvoy joined by the championship winning head coach, Misty Cousin.
All right, thank you very much, Lincoln. A very happy Misty Cousin, head coach of Oral Roberts. I know it's going to take a while to sink in. This is a great feeling for you.
Yeah, I'm not breathing quite yet. What I got to say first, what a fantastic Sam Houston team. What a first-class program that Brenda runs there in Huntsville. Senior-led, Sequeena Thomas, Brittany Martin laid everything out there in this final game. So happy for them and the career they've had there at Sam Houston. I will be in tears and an emotional wreck here in about 5 more minutes for our seniors because it has been a long time coming. We really felt like we had a team in Kevy and JC and Savannah that could potentially take us to the tournament 2 or 3 times at least in their career. They did it on the last time out, and the drama of that, you know, it'll have me as a wreck here in a little while, but right now just happy, so happy for our team.
First tournament appearance since 2008 for Oral Roberts, first year in the Southland Conference. So many firsts. For you, as first-year head coach as well, you've been around the program a long time.
That's right. I had a great mentor for 16 years in Jerry Finkminer, who went to Utah State this last year, and Jerry taught me a lot, you know, and he taught me how to handle teams at a conference tournament and how to handle myself, and just, you know, I give him so much credit for mentoring me as long as he did, but it's a little surreal, so many firsts, and I just got to say that, you know, we were talking today as a team in the locker room, you know, the Bible tells us that he who began a good work in you will see it to completion, and we saw it to completion today, and I'm so proud of our girls.
We'll celebrate with your team. Congratulations, Misty Cousins, head coach of Oral Roberts.
Appreciate it.
Tournament champions are on their way to the NCAA tournament. How about that? First time, guys, since 2008 for Oral Roberts. Lincoln, back to you.
Well, it's time to hand out the hardware, and we now send it to the voice of the Merrill Center, Jeremiah Gallegos.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please direct your attention to center court, where Tom Burnett, commissioner of the Southland Conference, will present the individual and team awards. Mr. Burnett will present the 2013 Southland Conference Basketball Tournament runner-up trophy to Coach Brenda Welch-Nichols and the Bearcats of Sam Houston State. And now, Mr. Burnett will present the Southland Conference Tournament Championship Trophy and an automatic bid to the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament to Coach Misty Cousin and the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your champion, Oral Roberts. At this time, we would like to recognize the outstanding individual performances during the 2013 Southland Conference Basketball Tournament.
Well, while Commissioner Tom Burnett will hand out the various individual honors, let's take a look back at the highlights here. One that came down to the wire, Coach.
What a great basketball game you have when you have a game that goes down to the wire and the winner gets to play in the NCAA tournament.
Well, we saw the seniors accept those awards, and the seniors played big on the big stage, including Brittany Martin.
Martin made the outstanding three-point shooter. You see Smith propelling the basketball, going in, finishing. These seniors for Sam Houston State did a tremendous job. Oral Roberts, on the other hand, Looper, 26 big ones. She just made shot after shot with her little point guard. And you see Looper once again feed it off and then Bigham to Looper. What a combo.
Well, ultimate score will reflect a 6-point differential. The final 13 points by Oral Roberts were scored at the free throw line. Looper and Bigham, with their leadership, were clutch down the stretch. As you saw, Cooper able to chime in there. We take a look at the final stats here as we wrap up Southland Conference play.
Then you step up and you make 28 out of 33 free throws. Number one, you got to the line a lot. And when you got to the line, you knew what to do, make them.
Well, a tremendous championship as we've been celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Southland Conference. We've been a part of the ESPN family throughout this season. We've got one more coming up tonight at 7:30, the men's championship. Top 2 seeds, SFA and Northwestern State, will square off again 7:30 on ESPN2. But Coach, it's been a great job again getting to work with you. We've seen so many tremendous ball games throughout, but also we got to thank our great ESPN3 production crew. Jeff in the game, the men and women who are always the first on the scene. They'll be the last to leave, packing up. Always something to look forward to when basketball season comes around.
I just really love this conference, and I'm thankful to have this job. They invite me to do it. We've got a great crew, great truck, and it's been an exciting year. It's going to get better. They added 2 teams this year, added 4 more next year, and it's going to be exciting times in this league, in the Southland. It's going to be a great men's basketball game tonight. Offense versus defense in that game.
Well, you look at the big smiles as Sequeena, Thomas, and Beadle not only runners up here in the tournament, but pick up some all-tournament team honors. Point ball game. Looper can stretch it to a 3. Boy, once again with Kevy Looper, our MVP of the tournament.
All right, thanks, Lincoln. Appreciate it. Kevy Looper, emotional time. I know it's sinking in now that your team is headed to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, me and the 2 seniors have been trying so hard since freshman year, and we failed every time. And this year, it doesn't seem real. It's sinking in as the minutes go by. But I'm just so thankful for God for allowing us to have the talents and opportunities to do this.
Talk about this game in particular. You guys were up by 5 at the half. Sam Houston made a nice run there in the second half. Took the lead, but you all responded nicely.
Yeah, they came out, they were ready to play second half, and we just had to get our grips about the game and calm down and play ORU basketball, and it turned out well for us.
First NCAA tournament bid since 2008 for Oral Roberts. What does it mean for you being a senior and being a part of carrying the tradition on and kind of setting the bar a little higher for this program?
I mean, it means so much. Ever since we were freshmen, that's all we want to do is go to the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, it's the biggest award or accolade any of us could receive, so we're just really thankful.
All right, your player of the game, tournament MVP. I know that sounds good. Soon to be engaged or engaged?
Yes, I'm engaged, and we'll be getting married this summer, hopefully, between professional basketball. But
busy time for you.
Yeah, it's a very busy time. But I mean, like I said, I'm just so thankful to God for giving me these talents and blessing me with everything He has.
Great tournament for you. Go celebrate with your team. Appreciate it. Kevy Looper, 26 points. What a day, what a way to finish here in this conference tournament championship for Oral Roberts. Next step, they're going to the NCAA tournament. Lincoln, back to you.
Again, our Southland Strong player of the game and the tournament MVP, Kevy Looper, perhaps future Kevy Looper Zufall. But Coach, this one did not disappoint right down to the final minutes.
When Looper needed to step up for her team, and seniors have to do that. You need a senior that's going to make plays when it counts. Not only did she shoot the ball well, she kept her team very, very comfortable when Sam Houston State was making a run and had the confidence to make the plays to win the championship.
In Looper's resume, there's a thick staple holding all those pages together. The one thing that was not listed was a tournament title and a bid to the NCAA tournament. She can now cross that off as Coach Misty Cousin and the Golden Eagles will find out Monday where they are headed. They'll be dancing up in Tulsa, but for one final time for Van Chancellor, I'm Lincoln Rose. The Southland Conference once again putting on a tremendous show here in the Merrill Center. All that's left to be decided, the men's championship tonight on ESPN2 at 7:30.